Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. Saul NIGUEZ to Manchester United, Liverpool, Barcelona, Manchester City, Chelsea and anybody else that might fancy bringing in a very, very talented midfielder this summer. It feels like the Atletico Madrid journey with Saul NIGUEZ, or Saul NIGUEZ as I think it is pronounced, is coming to an end. I think he's still got about 5 years left on his contract. He basically signed a lifetime contract about 4 years ago, which is actually 9 years. So if Saul NIGUEZ was a fundamental part of the Atletico Madrid side, he'd be virtually impossible to bring in. In fact, United have been linked to Saul NIGUEZ so many years that it feels like we've been linked to him since Jesus was born. You know, it seems to be every single summer. And every single summer you're linked to NIGUEZ, it's about £100 million. But I think in a COVID summer where Atletico Madrid need to generate a bit of cash, where Saul NIGUEZ has not really been playing for Atletico Madrid as much as he used to, there is a possibility that he's looking to move. And it always felt like it was going to be a swap deal for Griezmann. But apparently that has now fallen through. Saul NIGUEZ's actual agent, I think, is Jonathan Bartnett of the Stella Group. So he's part of that group again, which has strong connections in the Premier League. And there is a real feeling that this could be the summer when NIGUEZ comes to the Premier League, especially if Barcelona can't facilitate this move. Obviously, being Spanish, I think you can see why NIGUEZ would want to go to Barcelona, but it doesn't look like it actually will happen at this moment in time, which opens up the door for the Premier League. Now, as a United fan, I would take NIGUEZ at United, of course I would. This has never been about not wanting him. I do actually think he plays in the position we need and Liverpool need and maybe Man City would like and maybe Chelsea would like and maybe, I'm sure Arsenal and Spurs would like, even though he wouldn't go there. The reality is he's a very, very good player. My issue with NIGUEZ is that he always gets linked to United and it never happens. So that's my stance on it. But if he is going to leave and he's not going to go to Barcelona and Real Madrid can't afford him, then he's going to come to the Premier League. I don't think Bayern Munich would go for him. I don't think Juventus would go for him or have the funds to go for him. And I don't think PSG would look at him really in relation to the options they've got. It would be a Premier League move for NIGUEZ. And I suppose the most obvious choice, speaking about what we were speaking about yesterday, with Liverpool losing Wijnaldum and Henderson's future in doubt, then Liverpool NIGUEZ sounds positive. I mean, NIGUEZ has actually spoken about Liverpool quite recently, about how he likes the way they play, how they're relentless in their press. So I think NIGUEZ Liverpool probably stands out as the most likely option, and what a good signing he would be for them if he comes to the Premier League. Maybe Pep Guardiola likes him. Pep Guardiola's Spanish. He knows about the Spanish league. He knows about the Spanish players, and I certainly think Saul NIGUEZ would be a good signing for Manchester City. Manchester United, again, I think he would be a good signing. And, if Chelsea are looking for another player, they have been linked to Declan Rice, of course, you're going to get Saul NIGUEZ much cheaper than you're going to get Declan Rice. And I think that, to me, is the most interesting point here, is that United want a CDM. Liverpool probably want a midfielder as well. Chelsea are probably looking for one. Maybe Man City are looking for one. Fernandinho's not getting any younger. And Saul NIGUEZ fits into that category absolutely perfectly. He is a midfielder. He's a centre midfielder. I don't really think you describe him as a centre defensive midfielder. But unlike a Paul Pogba, who is a centre midfielder with amazing attacking attributes, I feel like Saul NIGUEZ is a centre midfielder with amazing defensive attributes. His tackling is very good. His tenacity is very good. His stamina is very good. His ability on the ball is very good. At 26 years of age, his natural progression for me is to become a centre defensive midfielder. And I think this is what some people don't realise. A box-to-box midfielder isn't necessarily a box-to-box midfielder all their career, into their 30s. Many good midfielders become holding midfielders as they get older. And I think that in Saul NIGUEZ, you've got a player there that could go to Liverpool, could go to Manchester United, could go to Chelsea and sit there in a midfield pivot of two, or even do it on their own and run a midfield. You could see Saul NIGUEZ doing Fabinho's role. You could see him doing it with Fabinho. You could see him doing the Fernandinho role or the Rodri role at Man City. You could see him doing the job next to a Paul Pogba at Manchester United. He's definitely got that in him. He's definitely got those attributes in him. And he's definitely a quality player that would revolutionise Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City. So it's going to be very interesting. I think for a long time it was about Griezmann for Saul NIGUEZ, and I think for Barcelona that would have been a great deal. And for Atletico Madrid, I think they would have liked that deal as well. But from a Premier League perspective, There's a lot more money going on in the Premier League. It's a lot more attractive in that sense for Saul NIGUEZ and his agents. And I think that the Premier League clubs are probably just saying, look, we haven't got the financial issues that Real Madrid and Barcelona have got. Do you want to be messing around with Atletico Madrid and Barcelona who are just basically trying to do a straight swap? Or do you want to just come to the Premier League where we'll give you the money? We'll give you the money, we'll give you the agent fees, we'll give him the signing on fees, we'll give him the good wages. You haven't got to start bartering with Barcelona. And that's probably a very easier and more attractive, definitely, option for Saul NIGUEZ and his agents. Whether that's attractive to Atletico Madrid, who are probably thinking we quite like Griezmann, I don't know. But then again, if I'm Atletico Madrid, I'm thinking, and I suppose that's the most important thing. What value is Saul NIGUEZ? He has got 5 years left on his deal. He is a very good player. What's the value? What is the value? How desperate for money are Atletico Madrid? What would you value Saul NIGUEZ at? I think if Saul NIGUEZ was a Premier League player moving to another Premier League club, I'd be saying 70 million. But in the situation that we're in now, I can see that deal being done for 50. I can see that being a £50 million deal. So for £50 million, Man United should be all over this. Liverpool should be all over this. Chelsea should be all over this. And Man City should be all over this. And I think they are the top 4 clubs in England at the moment. And they should all be looking at this deal. I don't know whether United will. I think United are probably thinking Declan Rice more, even though he's more expensive. Saul NIGUEZ is definitely the better option for many reasons. I think maybe Chelsea are looking more at Declan Rice as well, which leaves it between Liverpool and Man City. And as I said, I think Liverpool will be the club because I think Liverpool are the club that need a player of that quality to come in with the loss of Wijnaldum. And to be honest with you, if you are a Liverpool fan, you lose Wijnaldum, but you bring in NIGUEZ. All right, you've spent a bit of money, but what a signing he would be. You know, NIGUEZ, Thiago, Fabinho, Henderson as your midfield options next season. I'd be pretty happy with that, with Van Dijk at the back and, you know, options up front still there. So it's going to be interesting. I would put Liverpool as the favourites if he's going to come to the Premier League. I would love my club, Manchester United, to get involved. Tenacious, good tackler, good on the ball, good stamina. Exactly the sort of player that you stick in the midfield and tell him to be a little bit more defensive. And I think he can run that midfield for you. But we get linked to Saul NIGUEZ all the time and it never seems to happen. But who's to say Man City and Chelsea couldn't enter the race? And who's to say the Griezmann thing won't happen? But at the moment, it looks like a Premier League race for Saul NIGUEZ. Thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and I'll speak to you all soon.